Noah Lyles' relishing rush and rivalries of most wild and unexpected year. After Paris 2024 that was chock full of drama, you may have forgiven Noah Lyles for hoping for a straightforward, even ordinary, 2025. Yet, even after last year's photo finish victory in the men's Olympic 100-meter final and the subsequent race to bronze in the 200-meter that was so nearly derailed by a bout of COVID, the challenges Lyles has faced this year have been anything but ordinary. I'd say this is probably my most wild and unexpected year, he told the media in a press conference before the Lausanne Diamond League athletics meet, where he will race in the 100M on August 20th. With having an injury in the middle of the season setting back when I was able to start it, I really wanted to get back on the scene, and then having to take a slower approach to get back, into finally starting in July. It's been rushed, to say the least. In a year in which he has designs on defending the 100M and 200-meter world titles he won in 2023, an inflamed tendon left Lyles waiting until July for his season opener, just 2 months out from the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. I'm usually a guy who has a lot of races under my belt, Lyles said to Olympics.com and a huddle of journalists in Lausanne. I love to run and compete, so this is a very odd type of season for me. I've never had a season like this before, where I've had so few races. However, while the preparations for the end of the season have been far from what he would have envisioned at the beginning of the year, the 28-year-old is in little doubt that he's hitting the type of form he needs at just the right time. Noah Lyles reveling in rivalries in 2025. Much of the pre-race talk before the Lausanne Diamond League has been about Lyles' burgeoning competition with Jamaica's Kishane Thompson. However, with the latter pulling out of the remainder of the Diamond League season due to shin discomfort, the public will most likely need to wait until the World Championships to see the resumption of that particularly spicy 100M rivalry, along with another developing duel with fellow American Kenny Bednarik that came to a head at this year's U.S. trials and a number of thrilling races against Olympic 200M champion Letzel Tebogo. Lyles is a central figure in the tussles for sprint supremacy that may well go on to define these times. Rather than being overawed by the sprinters who are going to take his crown, the three-time Olympic medalist relishes the drama of the competition he faces. I love rivalries, as long as they're done correctly, he said, meaning that they have a storyline, you know. We're not just making rivalries out of nothing. I get kind of annoyed when there'll be situations where you have one person who has a race with somebody who has like 50 wins over somebody who has 3. I mean, come on, that's not right. That's just the next race that's showing up. If there's a rivalry, there's a story behind it. These two rivals have probably gone back and forth multiple times. They probably have some type of history, or they're creating history at the time. That's the type of rivalry I want to see. As someone who has stood on the top step of the podium at the World Championships 6 times, Lyles has seen his fair share of rivals come and go. And while he names Michael Norman, Christian Coleman, and Andre de Grasse, alongside more recent contenders Thompson and Tebogo, among his fiercest competitors, there's a single similarity he sees with all of these rivalries. Noah Lyles on how year of moving targets is a blessing in disguise, with the challenge of injury rearing its head when many others were building the foundational blocks of their outdoor season. Lyles has had to reassess his goals for 2025. In the beginning of the year, it was to really put a hammer on the 200. He replied when Olympics.com asked him about his targets for the year. We had big plans. We were going to really focus on that. I didn't feel like I got so much opportunity to flesh out and iron out the 200 last year, as we were focused on winning the 100M a lot more than the 200. This year, after the injury, it's truly about getting right to win. I'm not that worried about running fast. I believe that I will run fast. It's really just saying, we need to be in the best position possible to win the World Championships. Yet even though the goalposts have moved and the year as a whole has become wilder than Lyles could have expected, the confidence that has come to define the Olympic 100-meter gold medalist has enabled him to take the hard knocks with the positive mindset of a champion. It's been a very long season for a lot of people, some people starting their seasons all the way in April with high competition, no doubt, he said. So I'm going to take it as a blessing in disguise and use what I have to the best of my ability. A wild and unexpected year. Noah Lyles embraces the rush of rivalries. Noah Lyles has often declared himself the world's fastest man. A title rooted not in hubris, but in the audacity of his Olympic triumphs and his charismatic persona on and off the track. Sportskeeda. Wikipedia. Yet this year has been shaped less by existing glory and more by rivals, challenges, and uncharted territory. A compelling saga of speed, tension, and reinvention. 1. A return from injury and strategic season launches. Lyles entered the year with an April ankle injury that sidelined him until late May. Despite the delay, he strategically kicked off his outdoor campaign at the Monaco Diamond League, clocking 19.88 seconds in the 200m, the perfect stage to remind the world of his caliber. Sportskeeda. His indoor performances were equally sharp, including a dominant 6.52 in the 60m at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. Run Blogren. Months of cutting-edge training, from biometric monitoring to psychological conditioning and tuned nutrition, aimed to ensure he peaked at exactly the right moment. Sportweek.net. 2. Rivalries fuel the fire. This year's defining narrative. Rivalries that have energized Lyles like never before. Kenny Bednarek. At the U.S. Championships in Eugene, Lyles surged past Bednarek in the final meters of the 200m to win in 19.63, the world's fastest time of the year. Dawn. NBC Sports. Temptation met tension as Lyles turned to glare at Bednarek, who responded with a two-handed shove after the finish line. The moment quickly escalated into one of track's most heated confrontations. TalkSport. Jamaica Gleaner. ABC. The Sun. Later, they publicly reconciled, reportedly spending an hour hashing things out and agreeing that their rivalry was both real and necessary. Both now anticipate a rematch on the global stage in Tokyo, where, as Bednarek says, "Every time we step on that track, you're going to expect some fireworks." KTVZ. TalkSport. Reuters. Kishane Thompson. The plot thickens with a fresh challenge. Lyles publicly invited Olympic silver medalist Kishane Thompson to a head-to-head race in Kingston. Thompson accepted, promising a high-energy showdown and injecting a new layer of excitement into sprinting rivalries. The Times of India. 3. Rivalries that almost weren't. Lyles' playful spat with NFL-wide